Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something that's all around you, shaping pretty much everything, but you probably never even see it. We're talking about chemistry, our invisible but essential companion. Let's dive in. Seriously, did you know that? Just think about your morning. The soap you wash with, the toothpaste you use, even the coffee you drink, that's all chemistry in action. It's not just something that happens in a far-off lab, it's happening in your life, right now, every single second. The inspiration for this whole explainer actually comes from the pages of a chemistry textbook. Yeah, I know, but it's packed with all these amazing secrets about the world around us, and today, we're going to pull back the curtain on some of the coolest ones. So let's start with maybe the most important impact chemistry has had on us, the chemicals that have completely changed medicine and, literally save our lives. Just take a look at this timeline. It shows these massive leaps forward for all of humanity. I mean, can you imagine surgery before 1846? It was agonizing. Then, boom, anesthetics made it painless. Before antiseptics, a tiny cut could actually be a death sentence from infection. And then penicillin shows up in 1929. That was the game changer for so many deadly bacterial infections. Each one of these was a world-altering moment, and it was all thanks to chemistry. This is kind of like a peek inside our collective medicine cabinet. It shows you just how many different ways chemistry helps us heal. You've got your antipyretics like paracetamol to knock down a fever, antibiotics to fight off infections, antiseptics to keep wounds clean, and anesthetics for when you need surgery. It's basically a whole chemical toolkit designed to keep our bodies going. Okay, so let's step out of the hospital and walk right into our own homes, because chemistry isn't just for emergencies, right? It's a huge part of our day-to-day lives. Okay, be honest, have you ever mixed these two up? It happens all the time. They sound so similar. On one side, you've got washing soda, that's sodium carbonate, and it's a really strong cleaner. On the other, you've got baking soda, sodium bicarbonate, which is what makes your cakes all light and fluffy. A tiny difference in their chemical makeup gives them completely different jobs around the house. And here's something we've all experienced. That moment you open the fridge and realize the milk has turned? Well, that sour taste is pure chemistry at work. It's just bacteria converting the milk's lactose into lactic acid. A perfect, if not exactly pleasant, example of a chemical reaction happening right under our noses. But chemistry isn't confined to our homes. We can actually use it to influence the weather itself. This process, called cloud seeding, is fascinating. A plane sprays super tiny particles of silver iodide into the clouds. This gives the water vapor something to grab onto, forming ice crystals that get bigger and heavier until they fall as rain. How incredible is that? Alright, so we've seen chemistry in our bodies and in our homes. Now let's zoom way out and look at how chemistry really powers our entire industrial world on a truly massive scale. To really get industrial chemistry, you have to understand this one word: catalyst. So what is it? Think of a catalyst as a sort of chemical matchmaker. It brings other chemicals together, gets them to react way faster, and then it just steps back, completely unchanged. They're the real unsung heroes of the industrial world. And here are some of those heroes in action. Take that first one, the Haber-Bosch process. It uses plain old iron powder as a catalyst to make ammonia for fertilizer. Now, that might not sound super exciting, but without that single chemical reaction, we literally could not produce enough food to feed the world's population. That is the staggering, world-changing power of a simple catalyst. But, and this is a really big but, this incredible power comes with a huge responsibility. Because for every amazing life-saving discovery, there's another side to the coin. Powerful explosives like TNT and horrible chemical weapons like phosgene and mustard gas. They're also products of chemistry. It's a very serious reminder that this science is a powerful double-edged sword. Which brings us to our final question, and it's maybe the most important one. After seeing all of this, is chemistry a good thing or a bad thing? A boon or a bane? It's a pretty tough question when you think about it, isn't it? On one hand, we have chemistry to thank for modern medicine, for feeding billions of people. But on the other hand, it's also given us some of the most destructive weapons ever made. So, what's the final verdict? And I think this is probably the best answer. The science itself, it's neutral. A chemical isn't good or evil. It's just a tool. A hammer can build a house or it can break a window. The choice isn't in the tool, it's in the hands that use it. And it's the exact same thing with chemistry. So as we finish up, I'll just leave you with this thought. Whether it's curing diseases we can't yet cure or creating clean, sustainable energy for everyone, the future potential of chemistry is just limitless. The next great chapter in our story will almost definitely be written with these invisible companions. The only question is, what are we going to choose to write? Thanks so much for joining me.